Lots of knife crimes around the world daily, and this is a rising matter that isn't getting the attention that is needed to be stopped. Many teenagers are feeling pressured into taking knives as a form of protection, as many of us are doing this and is making a dramatic rise in crime. This is not good. This is not good. By people feeling the need to carry around knives. This is something I think needs more attention and that needs the word to get out to people who do not carry knives. Many of these crimes are happening in London and the number keeps increasing. In 2014 to 2015, the knife crimes reported were about 10,000, and that number has since increased to about 15,000 in recent years, and that's a lot of knife crime. Now we're going to have an interview and a presentation with a police officer called PC Matt Guy about knife crime. Let's go. Of knife crime across the country.
So we have seen a prevalence in the increase in knife crime. I've seen stats that say 93% rise in knife crime offences throughout the country. The big concern for me is working in schools is the increase amongst young people. In Leeds we saw a 27% increase in knife related offences in the Leeds area amongst young people from 2017 to 2018. So it's a concern, and I do like what the Home Office and the Home Secretary are saying around it being kind of an epidemic, and we need to have a look at a holistic response to that.
Have you ever experienced knife crime?
Yeah, I've, as a police officer, been involved in a lot of situations, both as the first responding officer to a scene where I've seen people get stabbed and had to administer first aid and then also deal with the suspects, to also being the officer that comes into schools to speak to parents and to speak to other children who've been affected by knife crime. It's devastating on people, absolutely devastating. You can't imagine kind of the lifelong impact it has on anyone, even if there's not a death involved. So yeah.
Right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. This is 10 years. So you kill somebody, they no longer have any more birthdays, yeah? They're not going to get the GCSEs and celebrate that. They're not going to have the first night out with their mates. They're not going to get married. They're not going to have the honeymoon. They're not going to have their child and hold the child in their hands. They're not going to have any of those holidays. They lose everything. And their families lose all of that time with them. It's horrendous. And that person gets done for their murder and they get 10 years. And in 10 years they walk out. I want to defend myself and I hold the chair up like this and someone's coming at me, that's a good defensive weapon. Get back! Stay back! Yeah? Defensive. If all of a sudden I'm holding the chair like this and I'm going, come here you! And I'm coming at you like that, is that now a defensive weapon? Or have I just turned it into an outright weapon where I'm going to hit someone with it? A weapon. So you've got to be thinking about it up here, guys. This stuff is...
And on to the next story.
Welcome to our BBC Young Reporter
at Prince Henry's Grammar School.
Hello, I'm Alice.
And I'm Eva.
Today we're going to be talking about education
and curriculum
and languages.
Let's get started.
What do you think about French not being chosen as much as Spanish for GCSEs?
I think it's really interesting actually that report has just been published, because obviously in our school we teach both French and Spanish, and about the same number of students do both. It's about 100 each year do both of them. But I think both languages are equally important.
Do you think it would be better if French was done more for GCSE?
I think there's been a big decline in French for GCSE, and I think the reason Spanish has become much more popular is because people are going on holiday to Spain. But actually a lot of our, when we need to export things, we have to go through France. And because obviously we've got Dover and Calais, and so people have got to actually learn French in order to be able to deal with that.
Specialist Language College. It's split into two sides, French and Spanish. However, when you're in Year 8, you can also learn German, as well as a small part of Chinese. However, less schools are teaching French than Spanish. We have asked a couple of students which language they would do for GCSE. Tom and Gustav have more.
What language would you pick for GCSEs?
German.
What language would you pick for GCSEs?
French.
What language would you pick for GCSEs?
German.
What language would you pick for GCSE?
I would do French and German.
Which language would you rather do for GCSE, French or German?
German. Now we will be interviewing some sixth form students
And asking them how their A-levels are going.
Let's see how they are with stress, revising and learning.
What are your names and what are you studying for A-levels?
I'm Imogen and I'm studying History, RS and Art.
I'm Ellie and I'm studying Computer Science, English Lit, History and Media.
My name's Mary and I'm doing Art, English Lit and Geography.
How did your GCSEs go and what's some good revision tips?
My GCSEs went okay. I did pretty well. I was very stressed for results day when I got my results, but I did well. My best revision tip was giving you lots of time to do your revision and plan it out with a revision timetable. Also using mind maps and flashcards, so they're really helpful.
My GCSE went quite well, better than I thought they would on results day. I think my best revision tip is probably just getting someone else to go through it with you and ask you questions about your notes and stuff, which I felt helped me remember it a lot.
Mine went pretty well too, and I'd say start revising earlier, and use flashcards.
At our school we love drama, arts and music. Every year we put on a musical and there are loads of choir and bands.
This room replicates all the artwork that the GCSE students and A-level students do.
Hi, today we are going to be talking about litter. Let's go to Henry for some facts. As litter is increasing, animals and the environment are being affected. This could disrupt the reputation of schools. Now to George for the interview.
So, Mr. Robot, do you get annoyed about the amount of litter that you have to pick up?
I wouldn't say I get annoyed. I feel that I'm happy to contribute to picking up the litter. It is disappointing when I'm walking round students who are ignoring litter and I'm picking it up and they think that's acceptable. I'm not sure whether they would think that in their own homes if litter was dropped, and whether their parents would accept that. So I do get annoyed if I'm picking up litter that others could quite easily be picking up and putting in the bin, and it's clear that they've actually dropped that litter in the first place. But I don't get annoyed about litter. I just think it's something we need to be aware of as a school community, and something we need to improve, because as I've said in the assemblies I've done recently, it does reflect on us and it reflects on our school community, and I don't think it reflects accurately on our school community and the students that are in it. So I don't get angry, but I do want us to improve the situation. And actually, since I've done the assemblies, I do think the situation has got better, and I've seen students making a conscious effort to put litter in bins. I don't think it'll ever be perfect, but I think we just need to be aware of it and keep improving it as much as we can.
Yeah. How much do you think litter has increased in the past year?
I'm not sure litter's increased massively in the last year. I think litter in any secondary school is a problem. I think we have a lot more students coming to this school now, and it's something that we've started to notice a little bit more. Yeah. Having said that, I don't think we're any worse than any other school in terms of litter, but we do think it's something we would like to improve and would like to make a focus for our students. So in answer to your question, I'm not sure it's increased massively in terms of the students' behaviour around litter. I just think there's more students on site now, and that does present an issue.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, George. What about the seagulls, Chloe?
Well, everybody wonders why we have seagulls, and the main problem is littering attracts them.
Okay, now back to Izzy with yet another interview. What would you say if you saw someone dropping litter?
I'll tell them to pick up, because we don't want the entire world to be covered in litter.
And what do you think the school needs to improve on?
I think they need to put more bins around, and that if you see someone dropping litter, ask them to pick it up, or pick it up yourself and put it back in the bin.
Okay, thank you for your time.
What is fake news? Well, fake news is news that exists, but all of the facts are untrue. As you may know, Momo is part of fake news. It was seen as a viral challenge that came on over WhatsApp to tell children to harm themselves or even kill themselves. Well, Momo is fake, and there have been no death or self-harm cases related to Momo.
This happens a lot, but most of the time it's just a hoax to scare children. Lately in the media there have been many reports and issues about identity theft.
This problem has started because more people are beginning to trust social media more and are less wary of what they are posting. Things they are posting can often include, by accident, their credit card number, as it can be in the shot of the picture, or something like their address. Addresses are also reported a lot because often apps are asking for addresses, like Snapchat. You can then see where your friends live or where they're going to.
This is an ongoing problem that needs to be addressed.
Mental health is an issue when it comes to social media, as people are cyberbullying people with mental health issues, which is a serious problem as it can lead to suicide. Take it to you now, Will.
Mental health is very serious, and in some cases it can be related to social media because it can make us think that we are not good enough, which can lead to anxiety, depression and anorexia. just because we think someone looks better than us.
Now we're going to interview Miss Cruikshank, who is our school's mental health first aider.
How do you feel social media affects mental health?
I think it has a massive negative impact on teenagers especially. I think it's a really, really dangerous breeding ground for all sorts of different disorders. I think we need to be really careful about how students use it and how we teach them to use it safely.
How can people on social media avoid problems regarding mental health?
I think it's really important to make sure that you're looking at the right kind of content, that when you do go on social media sites, the kind of people that you follow and the kind of sort of hobbies and interests that you click on, they're the kind of things that make you feel good rather than make you feel bad. If there's somebody there who's kind of continually posting negative messages or messages that make you feel uncomfortable in some way, then you need to block them and get rid of them, even if it might affect your sort of social standing.
Do you feel there are any ways that social media can have positive effects on mental health?
I definitely think so actually, if you're careful about it. I know for a fact that people who, for example, have eating disorders can find support groups online. I do think that there are also many negative influences out there, and so I think you need to pick your support groups carefully. And I think going through official charities or organisations and using their communities.
And finally, how do you think that people with family members or friends that are struggling with their mental health can help them?
Just being there for them, giving them time, giving them space, and trying to point them in the directions of help is really powerful.
Thank you, Miss Cruikshank, for letting us interview you, and thank you for watching this and listening to what we have to say about social media.
Week a cat video has gone viral. A cat trying to open a door, which completely fails, and it keeps on going, showing that humanity should keep on going and trying to reach their dreams, just as the cat did.
Sports at local schools are usually bad quality, with little variety of sports and equipment. We want to talk to students and teachers to see what their thoughts are on the sports in our school and the quality of them.
Variety of sports here at Prince Henry's. We are now going to interview Mrs Hollywood to see what her thoughts are on the sports here at Prince Henry's. What do you think about the quality of sports at local schools?
So there's not too many local schools around here. I know Prince Henry's that we have, we've got lots of different sports and lots of different things going on. We struggle a lot with facilities and that's the same for lots of other local schools that are around here. So lots of our schools are quite old. If we look at St Mary's Menton and we look at Guiseley, and so lots of our facilities aren't as well equipped as other schools that have had new funding to be able to build lots of new facilities, and that's obviously affected by the weather, so that when we've got the snow or the rain or different things like that, we're not able to take part in those different types of sports.
Do you think we have a good variety of sports going on in this school?
Yeah, I think we've got an excellent variety of sports going on. So we've got, we've really increased our netball, which is a huge sport here, but we've increased it for participation for all. So we've got A squad, B squad and recreational netball for all year groups. We've got the same with rugby, so that's huge here, but we've also started to incorporate some new sports like cheerleading. We've got girls rugby, we've got girls football, we've got badminton, table tennis. We do lots of cycling outside of school, cross-country, athletics. So there's loads of different things that people can take part in all the time.
Do you think we could improve on any sports in the school or local community?
I think the biggest thing is to be able to build some local community links. So Otley's really, really poor on community links, particularly for girls' sport. So we lack a netball team, we lack a girls' football team. There's lots of different things that the community could be able to do. And maybe they'd be able to run this from Prince Henry's as a hub if we were to have better supported facilities here at Prince Henry's that would enable us to be sort of a hub for other schools, particularly primary schools that could come along and use our facilities as well as other communities.
Now going to interview Mr Atkins.
What do you think about the quality of sports in our local schools?
So I think in terms of our school at Prince Henry's compared to all the local schools, I think we're fairly strong. I think we offer a wide range of sports that pupils can take part in. And certainly if you look at in terms of results compared to how we are compared to other schools, I think we are, well, we'll be seen as fairly strong. We also compete against a lot of the local independent schools who are traditionally very, very strong at sport, and we compete well there. So I would say, yeah, we're in a fairly good position.
Do you think we have a good variety of sports going on in this school?
Definitely. I think if you look at our curriculum PE, we do a really broad range of sports, so there'll be something for everyone, from your more traditional sports like rugby and football through to things like ultimate frisbee, handball. So I do certainly think that we have a good provision of a wide range of sports there.
Do you think we can improve on any sports in our school?
So I think the majority of sports will be improved through the facilities. Obviously you'll know, being pupils here, that the facilities are not great. Some of our pitches are liable to flooding and things.
We are now going to interview a few students on their opinion about the sports facilities in Prince Henry's.
Here are a few students from different year groups.
School's sport different to your primary school sport?
Well, I think it's taken much more seriously, and it's not just like, oh, just come and have a go. You know, you pick the best from the best.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more difficult.
Yeah. Do you think that the facilities are good?
From primary, yeah, because when you used to play hockey and stuff, you used to always use like plastic and hockey, where you use that an actual one, natural balls.
Yeah, and they were all quite cheap, just
What do you think about the sport at school?
Well, I think we get a lot of opportunities to participate and represent the school in sports.
I think it's really good because in the PE lessons, like, we get lots of opportunities to try lots of different sports out, so we can see which ones we might like.
Do you represent any of the school sports teams?
Yeah, I play rugby for school.
I play for the netball team.
What would you improve?
If I could improve anything, I'd make sure that everyone takes part and participates in sports. So, because I know some people would like to join a sports team but they can't.
I think I'd get everyone involved in a sport, even if they think that they wouldn't enjoy it, because there's like a sport for everyone that they would like.
Thank you. What do you think about the sport at the school?
I think that the sport at school is really good because they offer a lot of different opportunities to play different sports rather than just like the normal ones that you'd get in the curriculum.
Do you represent any sporting teams in the school?
Yeah, rugby and swimming.
I play netball and rounders and athletics and stuff.
What would you improve if you could improve on anything?
I think that we'd like some weatherproof like courts, because obviously they always get flooded and stuff, which you can't really help. Maybe more like fixtures outside of school, because that's good. It's going to improve our sports playing ability. So yeah.
Well then, thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Think about sports at school.
I really enjoy it. I think that there's a wide range of sports that we can do in school, so it's really good.
Do you represent the school in any sport team?
I represent the school in the netball team, and in the summer I do a bit of rounders and athletics.
What would you improve?
I would improve the sports facilities, like there are plans to get AstroTurf on one of the rugby pitches, and I'd love to have all-weather netball courts so we can play whatever the weather.
Think about the sport at Prince Henry's.
I think that sport at Prince Henry's is very good because it gives people plenty of chance to get involved in stuff if they want. Although nobody's forced into doing anything, they do a good range of stuff in PE as well to give you lots of chance to try out different things.
Do you represent any of the sports teams?
I play badminton for school. I also used to play basketball for school as well.
If you could improve anything about the sport, what would it be?
I honestly don't know.
Think about sport at our school.
I think the sport is good at the school because there's a lot of variety of sports to choose from, like after school and extracurricular, and you can also like take part competition-wise against other schools. So yeah, I think it's a good variety.
I feel like there's a lot of opportunities as well, so you can there's lots of leadership opportunities and school trips and stuff.
Do you represent the school in any sports?
Yeah, I play for represent the rugby team for like the under-16s in my group and the first team as well. That's all I do.
I used to be on the netball team.
What would you improve about the sport facilities at Prince Henry's?
I'd say it would always be more helpful having like more pitches up here, but because of the development of the new 3G pitch, I think that's going to be really helpful for the school, knowing that like you don't have to rely on the weather to know what you're going to play, so that's going to be good for everyone. It's going to be helpful for every single team that's about.
Yeah, definitely, because with the courts always like flooding, that'll help a lot.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
From all of our interviews, we've found that we are a strong school for sports. We could also do with better facilities so we can play to our full potential.